So there's this thing about when you want to practice something socially, skill-wise. In some communities, they talk about picking somebody who's of low importance in a community to practice on, because if you fuck it up, there's no real harm done. And I want to talk about this in this video. I'm Reid from ReidAboutSex.com.
I'm Cathy Fertilli of theintimacydojo.com.
Okay, we get amazing emails from you all. Please continue sending us emails.
All the questions.
You can send them to me at reid@reidaboutssex.com.
Cathy at theintimacydojo.com, or you can just in their YouTube.
Leave comments. Yeah. You can buy my products at reidaboutssex.com/store, and then leave it in the special shipping instructions. That's where I get a lot of my questions. So however you get us questions, please, we love them. We got this really great share from somebody who's wrestling with something, and the piece I want to talk about is they were trying to better themselves as a human being with social skills, and they, in their share, were sharing that they picked somebody who was of low importance in their social circle.
Nothing big to break or lose.
Nothing big to break or lose, right? So there's this idea in certain communities around, if you're gonna practice certain things, practice them in a low stakes way. Meaning that if it goes wrong, the stakes aren't really high. The problem is you're practicing on human beings.
Yeah. And you're deciding someone's of low social status so you can use them.
Yeah. And again, for me, I'm very high up on the pyramid of privilege and a lot of different things. I have a lot of privileges being a white cis guy who some people think is attractive and charismatic and has a killer beard right now. Thank you. I'm silly, I'm playful, I'm an extrovert. There's all these things that I have going for me and my advantage, that are advantages that are just heaped upon me, and I didn't really have to work with them or work for them too much. So this is all also advice coming from somebody who's kind of the apex predator of privilege. I'm the Tyrannosaurus Rex in this situation. While I understand where this advice comes from, what's shitty about it is that you think practicing on somebody who's lower stakes, the repercussions community-wise might be lower for you, but that's still a person.
In the human level, they might be very high.
So I just want to say that I think that's problematic. And while I'm not saying, as the person who benefits from a lot of privileges, that social cachet and sexual, it's not cachet, there's another word for it, where there's a lot of social dynamics happening. Is there a better way?
I think there often is.
To practice and have things be low stakes without, and elevate people and humanity in general.
As someone who's had in different communities, I feel like I have lower status in some and higher status in others. And I know that when someone's treated me that way, they felt like I wasn't as important, so they could treat me poorly. I felt really bad, and I lost a lot of respect for them and for the community that allowed that to happen. I think there's a lot of better ways to do it. One, I encourage people to not practice with the person they have the hugest crush on. That doesn't have to be a status thing. I encourage them to find a friend and say, hey, can I practice with you? I need to practice my words. Or find people that have their stuff together and are not going to be harmed by the process. Practice at the talk. If you have trouble talking to people, talk with a grocery clerk. Practice with people that are kind of in a safe environment where things are more controlled. But it's not about finding someone who's low status so that you're not risking as much, because people can be really hurt by that process.
The analogy that comes to mind right now, because we're kind of riffing on this.
Is it about a pirate?
It's not about a pirate. Although pirates are totally cool.
Do they have high status?
It depends on the pirate.
Oh, that's true.
Okay, pirates have social.
If they have a parrot, it's better.
Maybe. I'm not a parrotist. Not everybody has access to parrots. The idea that's coming up for me in this video is it's around martial arts. As a martial artist, or as an ex-martial artist, because I haven't been active for a long time in my communities, but like if there's a technique that you want to practice it on the black belt, because if the technique goes wrong and you hurt the black belt, that's different than hurting a white belt.
The black belt generally knows how to fall and block and...
Exactly. And, like if you break my nose trying a technique, that's different than breaking a white belt's nose, right? So, but what you need to do is you need to ask. You need to ask the black belt, hey, I want to practice this technique. It seems inappropriate for me to practice it on a lower belt. May I practice it with you? And that is there's more consent and informed consent and ability to take responsibility for the situation than you improving your skills on a white belt.
Yeah.
Like,
who might be really...
Yeah. Well, I mean, unless you want to be, like you want to be known for, you know what? You know what kind of martial artist I am? I'm the one who can kick a white belt's ass. Somebody who has no training, I fucking rock. Like, that's not cool. And I just want to point this out because this is a piece that I get a little bit irked by, and it gets perpetuated in certain communities around how, who you pick to practice on. And I think that it's flawed thinking. Yes, the stakes are lower for you, but there's a more responsible way to lower the social anxiety and be more conscious and mindful than picking somebody who's safer because there's less consequences, which also means you've somehow forgotten that they're human.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you. Please leave comments below. We'd love to know what you think. Who do you practice with?